Creature Commandos. It's a show about an assassination squad composed of what people consider monsters due to their unnatural existence. Out of the array of relationships in the show, we will be focusing on the unique friendship that is formed between the bride and Nina. Bride and Nina share opposing personality traits. The bride has a violent, rude, and rash nature, contrary to Nina's timid, polite, and kind personality. These opposing traits create a dynamic that is called a dialectical perspective. Dialectical perspective considers these opposing traits to be tensions that mutually complement each other, opposites that are equal and effective in communication. Now that we understand the dynamic relationship between these two, we can look at the stages in which their friendship has developed. We will go over this friendship's development through the staircase model. The staircase model separates relationships into two stages, the coming together stage and the coming apart stage. These stages have their own steps to determine the relationship. The coming together stage is composed of initiating, experimenting, intensifying, integrating, and bonding. This is where we make up the relationship, while the coming apart stage is made up of differentiating, circumscribing, stagnating, avoidance, and termination. This is when the relationship falls apart. Although these are considered steps, relationships don't have to go through these steps in order. Initiation stage is visual contact is made and the other is assessed for future interaction. The experimental stage is communicators explore commonalities and generally increase breadth of topics, rarely delving into specific ones. The intensifying stage is increased depth of disclosure occurs and communication acknowledges the friendship that has evolved. In the integrating stage is the intimate information and secrets are commonly exchanged during this stage. The bonding step is represented by a formal, public commitment to the relationship and the highest level of empathy, trust, and intimacy. The differentiating stage is more individualism and less coupling. Less talk of I and my replaces we and our. Disagreements increase and self-disclosure wanes during this stage. The circumscribing stage is when tensions prohibits asking, doing favors, and communication is awkward and strained. The stagnating stage is saying less is better because if discussion ensures, it won't be particularly pleasant. This level often occurs between people who cannot leave the other's presence. The avoidance step is as relationships de-escalate. Further, those who are able leave the environment and any communication effort is forced. And the termination stage is marked by a realization of what life is like without the other in it, and conversation focus on farewell speeches. Now that we know what the staircase model is and its steps, we apply these steps into the bride and Nina's relationship. The relationship went through 3 of the steps in the coming together stage. These steps were the initiating, integrating, and intensifying steps. Process the initiating stage by meeting each other in prison, but the relationship didn't go further until they went through a turning point. A turning point is similar to transitions in that they can change how a person lives, but are identified via a reflective process. When a person looks back on their lives, turning points act as roadmaps along their life course. The turning point in the bride and Nina's lives were when they were taken out of prison to be placed in an assassination group called the Creature Commandos. After this turning point, the bride and Nina enter the integrating stage. They go through the integrating stage when the bride tells Nina intimate details about her life, such as when she was given life, groomed, and how she has been running away from Frankenstein for hundreds of years. Although Nina, at this point, has not given her backstory, she does talk to the bride about how they relate to the fact that the world will always see them as monsters. After the integrating stage, the relationship intensifies when the bride and Nina start to sarcastically call themselves friends. Although their verbal tones suggest otherwise, their non-verbal tones, such as their vocalics and chronemics, say that they are indeed friends. The bride and Nina's relationship only went through one step in the coming apart stage, which was the termination stage. Although the termination stage also hints that the two people in the relationship aren't going to see each other. The way this relationship was terminated was due to yet another turning point, which is when Nina was killed. Termination may not explicitly say death is involved when a relationship ends, but death does make it really difficult to see your friend ever again. In conclusion, the relationships we have in our lives are applicable to the staircase model, but it won't predict how the relationship will evolve due to how flexible the steps in these relationship stages are. Because of this, scholars mainly focus on turning points since they locate where changes in a relationship happen, since these turning points find label changes and transgressions. Even though the Bride and Nina's relationship isn't the most organic way of forming relationships, they show that relationships can be formed with just about anyone regardless of your dialectical tensions, how you process through the staircase model, and how a turning point can make or break a relationship. By recognizing where we are in these stages or turning points, we are able to steer the direction of our relationship. This could either deepen our current relationships or destroy them. Even though it is powerful to recognize where you stand in your relationship, be cautious as to how you're going to manipulate your relationship for your desired outcome may not become reality.